Right, so I got my dates mixed up for the selections, so there's not going to be an All Blacks Springboks preview, but there is something to talk about, rugby related, which of course the big news yesterday was the firstly the announcement of the expansion of the Rugby World Cup in 2027, when that's of course going to take place in Australia, and of course sort of an as yet unnamed Nations Leagues type of competition in between Rugby World Cup years. So we're just going to talk about that. There's a couple of, say, pros, cons, and stuff around, certainly more so on that. I'm going to call it the Rugby Nations League, just because it is a bit similar to what football is doing and what UEFA is doing. So, yeah, the 2027 Rugby World Cup will be expanded from 20 to 24 teams. I guess, firstly, it is the biggest change to the Rugby World Cup format in about 20 years, and of course, it'll be. Yeah, so this means that the 2023 Rugby World Cup is the last time we'll ever see this format of 20 teams in 4 pools. There's going to be a round of 16 in the Rugby World Cup, so it's going to mimic the Football World Cup. There's going to be, so the round of 16 will have the top 2 teams from each pool automatically qualifying, along with the best 4 third place teams. So in effect, we are going to have 4 pools or 6. The tournament is going to be somehow shorter. It's going to be 6 weeks. Of course, the Rugby World Cup at the moment is 7 weeks. But now the pool phase has been reduced from 5 to 4 weeks. So yeah, and the biggest news is that the pool draw is going to be taking place as late as possible, which about time really. We're hearing it's possibly going to be late 2026, which is fine. I mean, yeah, I think they were talking about early 2023. By the way, the competition is going to be moved back to October. Which I think that's actually one thing that's been overlooked really. I know September, October, the Rugby World Cups have, of course, taken place between September and October since 2007. Look, those changes for the Rugby World Cup, going to 24 teams, and I think I've been sort of clamoring for these for a while, particularly when you consider what's happened with this Rugby World Cup. And you have the likes of Scotland, South Africa, and Ireland being lumped into one group, and Scotland missing out. I think rugby is definitely ready for the Rugby World Cup. Is definitely ready for an expansion. I think certainly doing it incrementally is the best step. But yeah, look, clearly you see the likes of you've seen Fiji, Fiji's performances at this World Cup. You've seen Uruguay. Georgia have continued to press their claims to be included in an expanded 6-7 nations. And you've got and Portugal, of course, they make some great strides. So yeah, I think this is a very positive step. And look, this format, the Rugby World Cup's had this format for 20 years, which is true. I mean, it just shows you how successful this format has been. And I think if you look at other World Cups, FIFA's 32 team format, which has been around since 1998, and it's been around for about 24 years. Of course, it's going to change for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. By contrast, then you have the Cricket World Cup, which seems to have a format change every single time. So a lot of stability. There's been a lot of stability, and it just shows you the success of the Rugby World Cup. And this is easily the next natural step in the progression of the tournament. Now, of course, the other big news, apart from the expansion of the Rugby World Cup, because normally, World Rugby has this congress before the final where they announce all these big changes. So they had that Rugby World Cup, and then of course they had the announcement of the sort of harmonized international calendar for the next 4 years, and then. And of course, the centerpiece of that is this Nations League, or what they're calling the Nations Championship, which is going to be biennial. And so the it's quite a complicated document because I guess it still hasn't quite been voted in. But the proposal is that for the first 5 years at least, you'll have the Six Nations and Rugby Championship countries plus 2 invited international unions from the Southern Hemisphere to play in this Nations Championship that will take place in non-World Cup and non-British and Irish Lions tour years. So the 2 nations, I think it looks like it'll be Japan, which shouldn't surprise, and Fiji. But there is talk of promotion relegation coming in 2030. So, unfortunately, that means for the likes of Samoa, Tonga, Georgia, they're kind of shut out. And, there was a very long, emotive post by Samoan First Five Lima Sopowanga that, once again, World Rugby is kind of... this competition is effectively like an exclusive club for the big nations. I think this 2030 is a long time. We're talking 7 years away, so that's going to be like 5 years where the likes, I guess Samoan, Tongan players will end up, they'll prefer to play for the All Blacks or Australia or other countries rather than their home nations. So it's effectively a sort of lost time for those nations. Unfortunately, this has been around for a while, and I can't see World Rugby really changing their mind. They've been trying to do this for a while. Could they push promotion and relegation a bit earlier? I can't see why not. Look, why don't they? I can't see why they couldn't just start it right from the start. If you're having this Nations League competition, do it from the start. I mean, UEFA did it with their Nations League. And it kind of feels like an additional it feels like another additional competition in what's already a congested calendar. So we shall see. I think so, and the other thing, of course, July, and so this competition will take place during the in July and November, which will be which I guess nothing's really changed there because we are playing the cross hemisphere tours. All games take place July and November during non-Rugby World Cup years. So look, so rugby enters a new era from 2024 onwards. After this Rugby World Cup, it kind of feels like the end of an era now. With this Rugby World Cup final, feels like the end of an era. So look, lots of changes. I think we'll certainly see them digest more details over time. But look, obviously there are the Rugby World Cup changes. They were very, very positive, and I'm fully in support of them. This Rugby Nations Championship, well, it's a bit of a mixed bag in my opinion. So look, I'd like to hear your thoughts and about all these changes. Are they good for rugby, or is it gonna make rugby even more exclusive to those who have money? So look, if you like this video, feel free to like and don't forget to subscribe.